Okay. Okay. So for class today, what I did was I asked a question in the beginning, do you have anything that you want to learn? And it's kind of hard to know exactly because you haven't really started. Now I've learned something. I'm going to do it again 4 weeks later instead of waiting this long. Hey, we all learn, right? This is how we learn. Because now I'm like, how am I going to get all this in? I did my very best to, I think 5 of you that had put stuff in there. And you guys, thank you. You did actually really, not actually, like I didn't expect it. You did a really good job on things that you wanted to learn. There's only so much we can do in the amount of time that we have. And this is a real class, but it's not a lecture theory class. So what I did was a couple things. So your homework is, like I said, it's about insulin. Insulin is very important. Insulin can kill you very easily. Insulin can be difficult to remember. And I hope she doesn't bother you that the Southern accent, the purple woman, as Alfredo calls her, nursesarah.com. So I posted 3 of her videos, and one has to do with mixing insulin. He's so funny. The purple woman. So one is about mixing insulin. One, and we'll talk a little bit about that today because we have some questions. Today is mainly about insulin. However, I also integrated some NCLEX questions because people said they love those, but I did my very best, you guys. And I have like 600 questions I have to go through to find. And I know you're learning perfusion and anticoagulants. I did my very best to find as many as I could, as quickly as I could. I have at least 2 or 3 that apply to that. And then the other ones still apply to what you're doing. I did my best. I have 6 NCLEX questions, and then I have the questions about insulin, that stuff that you may not have even learned about yet. And then I have a video we may not get to that has just to talk about the gauges of needles. Like, for example, the larger the number, do you guys know that means that that's the smaller the needle? Have you learned that? Because I know you're doing injections right now, or that's your checkoffs, or maybe a couple weeks ago.
I learned that at the tattoo shop I used to work at.
You're all nursing school? No. But like, for example, like if I was going to give an insulin injection, and I'm giving you actually one of the answers to one of my questions, it's a 29 gauge needle. So 29 is very small, right? And I'm not going to say any more than that because that has to do with the question. If I'm going to give an IM injection, so the higher the number, the smaller the gauge of what the needle is. Do you guys, so do we know that? Please tell me, were you taught that? I want to know that you were taught that, right? Like if you were going to give an IM injection on me, I would probably use like probably 1.5 inches and not go all the way in. And then I would cry because I hate getting shots. I hate it. I'm the worst. I am the worst patient ever. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, your homework is, and I put how long each video is, and you have till Friday. And I don't mean to be mean, but I'm starting to, and you'll notice, I see a little head walk by because Erica's on my screen. I see this little head just keep walking by behind your couch. I'm not trying to be mean, but what I have been doing is taking a couple points off if you are late. It's a pass or fail class. I can't imagine it. Now, I did put an announcement. And again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to hold accountability because I'm sabotaging you if I'm allowing you to continue. Now, in the beginning, okay, let's get adjusted, let's get going. But I don't want to sabotage you in your future and in your next semester. So, and I don't want to scare anyone, but there may be some of you that don't pass. I mean, if you're missing several assignments, you're not doing, how can I pass you? Like ethically, right? That's not fair. You're not doing your assignments. You're not here. And now I'm actually looking too to see 24 people are here. Okay, well, I'm going to count. I think I have more than 24 in my class. So I need to start. Oh, I see people that have not been here. Excellent. So good. So it's good. So we made a positive movement, if you will. Okay. All right. So let's do this. We are going to start with something. Now I know that you have learned about, put that down. Okay, can you guys see it says what is glucagon right here? Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do is just quickly, so I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna call on you. If you don't know the answer, that is absolutely fine. You say pass, and I'm gonna pick someone else. Actually, no, you're gonna pick someone else. We did that last time, right? Was that you guys? I don't even know. I teach so many classes. You pick so if you don't know it, you pick someone else, but don't be mad at each other. This is a learning experience. And this is where, like I said, if you're going to get it wrong, let's get it wrong here and not on the NCLEX, right? Okay. And Erica, I'm not picking on you. You're just below me. So I'm just going down. So we're going to talk about diabetes because I know that from what I at least heard that you guys, is that true? You guys are learning about diabetes and medication and insulin and all that kind of stuff. Is that true? Or was I lied to? Okay. Okay. So what is glucagon?
It's the hormone that helps break down glycogen.
So if, let's say in what case of emergency would I give this medication having to do with insulin?
Hypoglycemia.
Hey, you stop it. You stop it. Shayna, stop it.
Shayna.
I saw her light up and I was like,
It would be in a hypoglycemic event.
That is exactly right. So, and it's a wonderful medication. If we didn't have it, we would have a lot more deaths, unfortunately, because we do so you all know that we have 2 checks for insulin, right? So when you're drawing up that insulin, before you even take it out of the vial, you show someone and say, okay, you see the order, you see this, is this correct, right? Because you want to make sure, because it can be very, very, very dangerous. So glucagon is a saving grace right here. If too much is given, usually, and not always, but usually it's given through IV when this happens, but not always, because you guys know that insulin can be given IV as well. Or if you didn't, now you do. And glucagon, if you get too hypoglycemic, we give glucagon and boom, we get better, which is excellent. Okay. Now the next question, again, Christian, I'm not picking on you. You're just below Erica, and I have a chat. So I'm just going to check it real quick to make sure that no one's having any issues. Sorry, have better. You're fine. Don't be sorry. Sorry. Oh, okay. That wasn't me. I don't know what's happening. Okay. All right. If your patient was hypoglycemic, what is something you as a nurse can do without an order? So something that you don't need to call the doctor or NP or PA or whomever to actually get an order. So Christian, what can you do if your patient, let's say you kind of notice they're acting funny, you can take their blood glucose and you notice, wow, their blood glucose is 45. What can you do for them to help get their glucose up in a kind of a quick way?
Give them candy.
Give them candy. Absolutely. What's the other like most popular, would you say? It's a juice.
Orange juice.
And how many ounces?
8 ounces, I believe.
What's half of 8?
4 ounces. Oh my.
Excellent. And I actually just learned something I didn't know, so I'm going to share it with you guys. So I was testing someone for injections, and they're CNA, and CNAs are gold. I think, do you guys have to be CNAs for Hartnell?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, I think CNAs are gold. And they told me, they were like, oh, their answer, which I've never heard, is rip open a little thing of sugar, you know how sugar for coffee, and put it under the patient's tongue.
Yep,
Isn't that cool? Like, so easy. And why do you think it gets in their system faster? Because you have all of those, if you lift your tongue up, you have all those veins and vascularity there. So it's going to get in the patient's system faster. Now, obviously, we don't want to go the opposite way. So we're not going to do too much. And then we can retest, give it like 20 minutes and retest. Isn't that so cool? So yes, so we can do candy. We can do the orange juice is probably the most popular. And you'll normally start to see the LOC come back. So the cognitive Where are you? And we tend to know our patients pretty well. So excellent job. Good job. Okay. So I don't know why, but all of a sudden Kat like jumped up over Christian. I think she moved. So Humalog and Novolog are what type of insulin? Is it rapid, short, intermediate, or long? And if you don't know, that's okay, because I'm gonna teach you the best way to remember.
Is it long?
It's actually, okay, so I'm actually glad you said that. It's the complete opposite. It is the most rapid.
Mm.
So, and I love your glasses.
Thank you.
I love color. Even though I always wear black here, but I just don't give a, you know what? I work from home on Tuesday, so I'm like, whatever. You're lucky even, yeah, anyway. So this is how I remember it. Okay, remember we have rapid, short, intermediate, which is MPH. I think everyone knows that. It's like usually the cloudy one. But did you guys know it's not cloudy now all the time? I did not know that. So it's not always cloudy, but usually it is. And then we have the long, like the one that lasts for 24 hours. That's another question on here. So the way that I remember it, rapid means the most quickest, right? We're nurses. Let's just do it. I'm going to tell you how I remember it. So you see this word log right here? So every single one of us on here, whether you want to admit it or not, we do this thing. It's called a BM. What does a BM stand for?
Bowel movement.
A bowel movement. And most people, I mean, that's kind of like a nice free thing that we get to do every day, and it feels nice and it's free. It's like, I'm sorry, let's just be real. It feels good. All right, let's get it out. We're getting toxins out. We feel good. It's a good thing. So how I think of it is like this. I want to get it out as quickly as possible. So how I've remembered it for the past 13 years, and it's still here, is log. So I think log as in bowel movement, because a bowel movement kind of looks like a log. Would you agree? Kind of. So you want it rapid. You want it out right now. Now, if that helps you, great. If not, then think of your own way to remember it, but that's how I remember it. So Humalog and Novolog, there are of course more, but that's not what we're here for. We're just here. I'm just giving you what, little bits and pieces. Novolog and Humalog are considered rapid acting insulins. Excellent. And now we're actually going in order. So I'm going to do the next few. So in order, so we have rapid, and then what goes after or what's above rapid is short, right? Because then we go short, intermediate, long. So Humulin is an example of a short insulin. That's it. And how I remember that is, well, if you have Humalog, which is rapid, Humulin sounds really similar, right? So I connect that and think, well, then that's right above it. That's just how my brain does it. But again, you can make your own kind of, it's not an acronym. What is it called? Like memorization way of how you remember it. But that's how I do it.
The mnemonic?
Yeah, like a mnemonic, or usually, and I'm just being honest because I am, usually it's something dirty or like, but it makes me remember things, like things that like feces, or it helps me remember things. So Humalog is rapid, Humulin is short. Everyone knows what intermediate is, right? Intermediate is always, it's MPH. I mean, that's like the most, it's MPH. I've never personally seen anything else. Now, does that mean that it doesn't exist? But the most popular, it's MPH. That is intermediate insulin. Now, I'm not going to ask questions because they come later. Then Lantus. So Kat, when you said the longest, so the longest is and this is, I'm giving you an answer for later. So Lantus is the longest, and L, think of L as long. So we have rapid, which is Humalog and Novolog, right? So feces out, yay, yum, not yum, sorry. Unless you have pica, it's not yum. And then you have Humulin, which is short, then you have intermediate MPH, and then you have Lantus, which is long. So Lantus is a 24-hour acting insulin. And I'm going to actually ask you questions about this, and that are I in particular think are very important. Okay, so Lantus is the longest. Of course, there's other ones, but this is the most common. I picked the most common ones because we only have so long, right, to be online together. Okay, so next, which insulin is never mixed with another? And now, even though we talked on the phone for like 2 hours the other night, I'm gonna probably still say it wrong. Shayna? Shayna? Yeah? How do you say it?
That is I.
Am I
Yes,
right?
Yes, it's Shayna.
Yay, Shayna. Okay. Do you happen to know which insulin is never mixed?
With another insulin?
Correct.
I want to say, God, I'm gonna guess because I don't know. I'm gonna guess.
And now think about it. So you're guessing. So that's called educated guessing. And even if you get it wrong, that's fine.
Yeah.
But think about it. What insulin would you never want to mix? If you really think about it, we know MPH is usually mixed with what? Short or rapid, right? So what is the other one?
Is it the long? The Lantus?
You are absolutely right. Because why would we mix a long acting with anything else? And we're just going to leave it at that. Just if in your head, remember, if you ever see an order to mix a 24-hour insulin, Lantus, something's wrong, or another brand or type. 24-hour insulin is never mixed with another insulin. And it makes sense because it's 24 hours. It acts all the entire time you have it. So why would you need another insulin? Does that make sense? Why
Yeah.
would I put short acting, or like when we mix MPH and short, that makes sense because we want the short to act within a certain amount of time and then the MPH to kick in. But for this one, it wouldn't make sense. Excellent.
I have a question, Miss Amanda.
Of course, Christian.
Can you mix or can you use insulin in a piggyback or only antibiotic?
You can, yeah, no, you can. I'm 98.5%. You can do piggyback. So I'm
Okay.
not, I'm never lie and I never just make shit up. I'm not, I keep forgetting I'm being recorded, whatever, people curse. Okay. I'm not a med surg nurse. I do know, I know a lot about things like this just because I work with my patients don't tend to take really good care of themselves,
Okay.
unfortunately, but piggyback. Yeah, I don't, yeah, of course. I don't see why not. And again, I'm using my education and I'm applying it to what I know. So I'm going to say, yes, you can absolutely use a piggyback. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. 1.5% chance I'm wrong.
Okay.
Does anyone disagree or want to chime in? I don't know everything. And I'm okay to say that. But that's a really good question. Yeah, you can give a piggyback because you can give it IV. So of course, yeah. Yes, you can, Christian.
Okay.
I think we did a case study a while back. I mean, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it said that the patient took Lantus and Humulin together.
You can take them together, but you're not mixing them. So you have them in 2 different syringes.
Oh, okay.
You can give yourself the 2 different doses, just not.
Mixing it. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. And there's a question that's coming up that will it'll answer that question of what you just said, which doesn't make sense in the moment, but it will when the question comes up. Good memories. Okay. Oh my God, who should I pick on? Okay, let's see. Okay, who's next? Andre, I'm sorry. You're next. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, this is a hard one too. Okay, you know what? But you got this. And if not, we're gonna help you. So let's pretend that we're mixing insulins. So can you explain to me, you know how you have to pull the air and then put the air and then take it out and then pull the air and then put it in and then flip the syringe up and then pull the, can you explain to me, have you guys done that?
We
Uh,
watched
Yes.
a video on it, like one
Okay.
video.
Okay, how
about
about okay, so I'm gonna do it then. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre's like, hell yeah. Please. Okay, so this is how we do it. So we're gonna explain the steps of how to mix insulin. So the order I made it try to make it like easy, 5 and 5. So we have 2 types of insulin. Let's say I have an order for 5 milligrams of rapid, or let's say short insulin, or is that what I have? I'm sorry, I have rapid. 5 units of Humalog, which we know now is rapid, right? Because we want to get that BM out, and 5 units of NPH. So how am I going to mix this? So back in the day, which it wasn't even that long, when I was in nursing school and doing this, it was always clear before cloudy. Now they went and said, oh, we're gonna not make NPH cloudy all the time, assholes, because that's how you remember. That's like the best way to remember. So it's 2 ways of thinking. It's either clear before cloudy or short before long. That makes sense, right? Short before long, clear before cloudy. So what I would do is I would take my insulin, 5, or my vial of Humalog and my vial of NPH. And let's pretend it is cloudy just for fun. So how I would do that is I'd have my 2 vials. This one is the clear, this one is the cloudy. I'd clean the tops, right? Of course, with alcohol. I would take my insulin syringe. That's the only syringe that we use to give insulin, is an insulin syringe. Universally, they're always orange. I've never seen them any other color. If you have, I've never. So we always drop air, right? Because we want that vacuum seal to help to basically for it to gravity to help suck in the medication. So if I'm saying clear before cloudy, the clear one is Humalog. The cloudy one is NPH. So which one do I want to put air in first if I want to suck in the Humalog first? Which one am I going to put 5 units of air in first? The cloudy or the Humalog? If I want the Humalog to come in the syringe first.
The cloudy. No.
You put your air into the NPH first.
Exactly. So I put 5 units of air, which is not that much. It's like this much. And I put it in there and I take it out. And by the way, just in case this wasn't covered, you don't want to put it into the actual liquid. You want to put it into the airspace. Otherwise that can cause some suction issues and bubbles and all sorts of issues. So you want to put it in the air of the vial. Does that make sense? I wish I had like actual things to show you. Okay, so you're absolutely right. So I put 5 units into the NPH, take it out. Then I drop how much? It says here 5 units of Humalog and 5 units of NPH. So I'm going to drop 5 units of air and then I'm going to stick it into my Humalog. Then from there, is it clear before cloudy? I want clear in my syringe before cloudy. So I flip it upside down. And how many units am I going to drop?
5 units.
5 units. Now, why does that make sense? At this point, if I didn't do that, I can't put 5 units of air into my NPH if I wouldn't have done that. And we always do air first, right?
Right.
So that's how I remember. Because then I would have been like, well, I'm effed, can't do this. And I would have to start over. So that's how I remember it. And say it in your head and practice. So it's kind of almost backwards. So you do 5 into the cloudy of air, take it out, then do 5, put it in your short, pull out the 5. And before I take it out, I say, Shayna, do you see 5? You say, hopefully, yes. Thank you. I had my second nurse check because it can be deadly. I take it out. And now what do? I have 5 in here. How much more? What is my total going to be in my syringe?
10
Exactly.
units.
10 units. Very good. So now everything's clean. All the air is put in. I go back into my NPH, flip it upside down. And now I have to be really, really careful because if I go over, can I squirt stuff back in? No,
No.
because it's not the same concentration. So I very slowly, and if I mess up, you got to start over. It is what it is. And then I get my 10 and I say, Shayna, this is 10. You see the order? And she says, yes. And I say, yay. Okay, we're safe. And then I take that out. And how do I recap my needle? Do I go like this? No.
No.
I scoop, right? Or do you guys scoop, right? Or are they doing something
Sit on
crazy?
the flat surface.
Yes.
And
Yes,
then-
okay. I want to make sure. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Because that's what you're supposed to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I want you to lay in bed every night before you go to bed and say it once in your head. Just do it. Air in the MPH first. And just, I promise you, you'll never forget. Because that is one of the biggest mistakes people make, and they fail their insulin checkoff. Any questions about that? Okay. Mark. Oh, you guys have not gone over this. I already know it. I can feel it in my soul because no one ever goes over this, but that's okay. Because if you don't know it, we will go over it together. So once insulin is mixed, so once you've mixed your MPH and your whatever it is, let's say Humalog, like we just did, how long do you have to give that injection and why?
I think 3 to 5 minutes, because the chemicals will get, I don't know, mixed up or something.
That's actually partially correct. And a lot of instructors don't teach this. I have no idea why. So yeah, no, you're right. So what happens is, so we have 5 to 15 minutes, which means a couple things. So number one, I always prepare my insulin last, and I always give my insulin first. Why do I do that? I have 5 to 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, the two insulins can actually, I'm not having the best verbiage in the moment, I apologize, but they can actually congeal in a way to where it actually will change the amount of insulin you put in there. So even though you wanted 10, 5 and 5, it can change the dose of the insulin, and you don't want to do that, right? You want the correct dose because you want your patient to be safe. So we always mix our insulin last and we always give it first. That's my rule for myself. And that is the reason why. And let me guess, you probably were not taught that. No? Okay. Well, now you know. So that's good. Excellent. Good job. Okay. I'm going to do the rest because I don't want to keep you guys over. And I have. So if that's okay with everyone. Okay. So why do we mix insulins so why do we mix insulin? So if we have 2 insulins and we have to give 2 insulin injections, why do we mix them? What is the real reason? Think about the patient.
So you're only doing one injection.
Twice.
Beautiful. I don't want to be poked twice with freaking needles. Like, just poke me one time. So if we can mix them, yay, let's do that. Just like any other medication. If they're compatible, one injection is always, let's be nice to our patients. Excellent. I know you guys know this, but basically to give insulin, we know that we're giving it in the fat. We're not giving it in the muscle. If we give it in the muscle, your muscle doesn't know what to do with it. It will do nothing to your blood sugar. So any fatty site, the most common is the back of the arm and the abdominal area. There are plenty of places all over the body. I'm actually, because we're not going to have time and I don't want to keep you over because I know you have many things to do. I'm going to put the video that I had on injections. It's only like 7 minutes. I'm going to add it to the homework, but you don't have to write anything about it. It's up to you. If you want to watch it, you watch it. If you don't, then you don't. That's on you. Totally up to you. If you feel you need it, it talks about gauges and sites. So for insulin, usually the best site would be the back of the arm or the abdominal area. And you can also, pretty much any fatty site. There's like sites on the arm, like the back. I personally wouldn't do that. That would hurt like hell. Right? Ow. So usually the 3 main sites are the front of the leg and the back of the arm and your abdominal area. The next, don't worry, we're going to talk about things you're probably already wanting to say out loud. We know we're giving it in the fat, right? So why do you think the needle's so small? Which is a question coming up. we already know difference between type 1 and type 2. Type 1 means that we are insulin resistant. Type 2 is that our insulin receptors, beta cells, are not working as well as we'd like them to. That's all we're going to say about that. If you choose the abdominal area to give insulin, how far from the umbilicus do you need to be? Anyone?
An inch?
Inches?
Half an inch.
2 fingers?
You guys are so funny. 2 inches,
Yeah, 10 inches.
because we have a lot of vascularity in that area and we don't want to hit vascular area. And I'm gonna be honest, like that pisses me off, that not you guys, but how do you not, like, you've learned it, you guys have done this, right? How do you not, like, okay, we're fine. 2 inches, now we know, right? So 2 inches away from the umbilicus, and we have 4 quadrants. And I love that the abdomen area is my favorite place to give it, because usually, especially when I go into sniffs, because they have the most tissue there, and I feel like it doesn't hurt them as bad. And I don't want to hurt anyone. I want them to be as comfortable as possible, and we're nurses. That's what we should want, right? Okay, so there's 2 degrees that you can give insulin in. When I say degrees, I mean like 10 degrees, 15. What are the 2 degrees?
45 and 90.
Damn, who was that?
Cat.
Nice. That's exactly right. 45 and 90. And how do we decide that? What kind of tissue do we have? If we don't have someone with very much tissue, we're going to go 45. If we got some good tissue, I'm going straight in that abdomen. If I don't, then usually if I have to do it in the arm for whatever reason, I'll usually go 45. Especially if they're pretty thin. What is metformin?
Medication to decrease blood sugar.
I was going to say yes. You were absolutely right. So it's, in the most simplistic form, it's an oral medication. We take it for those usually who are pre-diabetic. You can also take it when you are diabetic, but it helps to basically, it works with the liver to help your body know what to do with sugar. So hopefully we can prevent you from having to take insulin, but sometimes you're on both. Good job. What needle gauge? I gave this to you in the beginning. And then how long is an insulin syringe? So what gauge?
25 to 27.
Go a little bit higher,
30.
go a little bit lower,
28.
28.
go a little bit higher.
29.
29, yes.
What the heck?
So it's usually about 29. Am I right? Yeah, 20. I'm like, am I right? 29. It could probably be 28. The ones we use are 20. I've always used a 29. And then how many inches?
Is it 5/8?
5/8.
So 5/8 would be the width.
Tuberculin.
Yes. So you are no, but you're right. No, you're right. It's the width of the needle in itself. So you're right. So it's 5/8. It's meaning it's very thin. It is 29 gauge. And how long is it? Remember, we're not going to the muscle, we're going into the fat.
To 3/8 to a half.
Keep going. Oh, half. You said half.
Half inch?
Yes, you're correct. Sorry. Good job, you guys. Nice work. Yay. Okay, so hopefully you absorbed some of that, and it's recorded. So what I'm going to do is we're out of time, and I don't want to keep you because I know you have like 25,000 million things to do. So what we'll do, I do have questions that I made for the NCLEX, and then this guy who's talking about injections. So what do you think about me posting both of those? It's not homework, but then at least you can look at the questions, and then we'll do the questions next week. And then if you have any questions about the injections, you can ask them. And then if you guys want me to help you prepare for anything final wise, I need you to send it to me. Because I saw a ton of that in the homework, but I don't know what to go over.
We don't either.
Did you just say we don't need it?
No, she said we don't either.
Oh, okay. We're all gonna fail anyway. No.
We're just as lost as you.
That's how I feel. I'm like swimming. I'm like, help. So since we had the mini therapy session in the beginning, which I think is, well, I think that's just as important as learning, just to kind of be able to speak and get things off our chest, and vent, not gossip. I will post the questions so you can be prepared. Next week we'll go over those NCLEX questions, as well as I will post the needle dude talking for like 7 minutes about sites and stuff. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, then that's fine too. I just always want to make sure I have enough information to give you guys during the hour. And then when is your finals week?
In 3 weeks.
Okay, so
May 17th and 18th.
18th.
okay,
17, 18, and we'll lab sometime that week.
okay, so for third semester, I basically told them last week is our last week for them. And then I said, just focus on studying. Don't just forget this class. Which I hate doing because I like enjoy you guys, which I hate. I mean, I hate that I don't that I'm giving you the option, but I almost feel like, not that this, I think this is a good class, and it's I don't feel like it's a waste of time. Otherwise I wouldn't teach it, because I don't get paid. Okay, we're gonna stop recording.